You want to raise kids who are adventurous eaters? Well, get them into the kitchen and cooking.
Yeah, they say that helps, right? When a child is involved in the process and has a hand in making the meal, they're more likely to eat it. Even cooler is when they're learning the science all behind it. And Highlights magazine is going to bring that all together in the ultimate science cookbook for kids, with recipes like marshmallow meteorites, grape and cheese towers, even an edible exploding volcano.
Wow, I know.
What? Madison's got all the details. She's from the Highlights, editor of Cooking and Crafts, and she's via Zoom joining us to tell us more. Hey, Madison, how are you?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. There's got to be so many different recipes you could have put in this book. How did you choose?
There are tons of great recipes that we could have put in, but we get tons of feedback from our readers for Highlights and High Five magazine about what recipes they love and what recipes they want to see. So we took all of that great feedback into account and we created what we think is a collection of fan favorite all-star recipes that we added a scientific twist to every single one of them. We wanted to make sure that all of the recipes were super open-ended and we showed multiple examples so that kids would be encouraged to customize it to their own tastes.
Wonderful. So let's talk about some of the recipes that you will find in here and then some of the things that kids are going to learn.
Yeah, so there's tons of different kinds of recipes in there for everybody's tastes and appetite, and that's one of the great things about customizing them. But we also have so many learning opportunities, whether it's a fun fact or an in-depth explanation about the science behind your food. We also have an engineering chapter for your kid who loves to build, and we even have some hands-on experiments so kids can extract DNA from a strawberry and then build a strawberry fruit kebab. We have tons of fun things like that.
Okay, I got to dive into a couple of those because I'm not lying. Currently at my house, I have a mini marshmallow and toothpick tower. That is, oh yeah. Daphne's been working on it. So she does some of this stuff. Well, how do you work that STEM? Could you give us any other examples of how you're putting that science, tech, that engineering, that math into this cookbook?
Yeah, so when it comes to math, there's absolutely in our more traditional recipes, kids are learning measurement without even realizing it. And when it comes to the engineering forward recipes, kids are really learning essential skills that scientists do too. So they're getting to make a hypothesis about how they might get their marshmallow dinosaur to balance, and then they get to test it out. And if it works, that's great. But if it doesn't, they really get to hone in on their creative problem solving skills, and they get to practice these problem-solving skills that real scientists do as well.
And then
there's tons of learning opportunities even beyond the science of it all.
Yeah, and then as Todd says, you get to eat it afterwards, which is the fun part. Yeah, absolutely. And then talk to too. You know, we mentioned at the intro to this is that when kids get involved in the kitchen, they are more likely to eat the food that you prepare. So let's talk to that. There is truth behind that.
Totally. I feel like kids have some agency over the food, and the great thing about everything being so open-ended is that kids can feel like they can tailor everything to their own taste. So we have a great recipe called Banana Bites where we'll show several different examples of flavors that you might pair with a banana. And we'll show some super approachable and kid-friendly ones, so maybe a PB&J with banana or peanut butter and honey with banana. But then we might also show one or two more adventurous ones in there for when you're really feeling wild and like you want to try something new. So maybe you have to try a bite of banana paired with mint. And the great thing about that is that kids can customize them. If they're feeling like trying something wacky, that's great. But if not, they can stick with the things that they're comfortable with.
Absolutely. I'm a testament to what you just said, Michelle, because I remember last week my daughter telling me that she didn't like a certain food, and then I was slicing it. Yeah. And she wanted to slice it, and guess who ate it? So, I mean, it really does work to get them in there. And can we speak just one more thing? Highlights is, I mean, when people say Highlights, they might think of that magazine, they might think of the puzzle searches, but you guys have so much more to offer parents.
We do. We are so much more than a magazine, and it's fabulous that so many people know about us from their own childhood and from hidden pictures, but over the years, we've really expanded, and we have some readers who are really dedicated to our recipes specifically. So it's super exciting that this is our first cookbook that we're coming out with, and I'm really hopeful that our readers are going to enjoy it.
Wonderful. I love me a good cookbook, especially when it gets the kids in the kitchen cooking. Thank you so much for being here, and you can find this wherever books are sold?
Yes, indeed.
All right, wonderful. The Ultimate Science Cookbook for Kids. Amazon, your local bookstore, and you can also discover more books like this. Just head to highlights.com. We'll be right back.